At the time, my first day of college seems like a pretty average, not too memorable day. However, looking back on it, my first day of college will be a day that I never forget. I had a glimpse of college through my older brother who was attending the same university I would soon be a part of. Although as that first day approached, I realized how wrong my perceptions of college truly were. I was attending Penn State University main campus about 2 hours away from my hometown. While I thought 2 hours away was the perfect distance, sitting in a car packed with dorm necessities and my parents, those 2 short hours seemed a lot more like 6. We arrived at Penn State, I found my key, found my dorm hall, and started slowly but surely moving my things into what would be my home for the next 9 months. I've never had a roommate before, no bunk beds with siblings, no roommates at summer camp, so the idea of sharing a room with someone was exciting and stressful all at the same time. In fact, these 2 words could sum up my whole day pretty well. After moving in, I started roaming the halls, meeting people living on my floor. It was refreshing meeting so many people who were just as excited as I was to start this new journey here at Penn State. We talked of nervous thoughts that crossed our minds and exchanged phone numbers. As I left these strangers who would become and remain my best friends to meet my parents, I felt a little more comfortable in this unfamiliar place. I spent the last few hours with my parents roaming around the college. I never took a formal campus tour, which I was regretting at this moment. I went to a high school that held about 1,200 students, and it should have been no surprise at how big a school that holded 40,000 needed to be, but yet walking around in circles, already lost, I was shocked. We returned to where my parents had parked, and the moment I had been dreading was coming, saying goodbye to my parents. I think this moment was so difficult for me because I had never experienced anything like this in my life before. In this moment, I learned that succeeding was depending exclusively on me. No one was going to be pushing me to study or asking me every night if I had finished my homework. It was exciting because I would finally be studying something I am truly interested in, but overwhelming at the responsibility all at the same time. We said our goodbyes, reminding ourselves that 2 hours away really isn't that far, and reassured that before I knew it, I would be so happy that I would not want to come home. I did not believe them at first, but at the end of the day, I knew my parents were right. I returned to my roommates and new friends, and we slowly got to know each other a little bit better. Being surrounded by people, knowing that they would be my support system and motivating me in the years to come, I felt less stressed and more excited, ready to take advantage of the opportunities I have been given. My first day of college will forever remain in my mind because of the lessons I learned and the person I found myself to be. On my first day of college, I learned that we choose people to get to know and choose that we don't, just by the conversations we choose to engage in. I'm thankful that I took that extra little step my first day and came out of my bubble. I realized things do not go as planned. In fact, they will go better than you plan if you leave it up to fate. On my first day of college, I learned that life twists and turns in ways that are different, new, and exciting. And about to enter my 4th and final year as a senior at Penn State, I look back on my first day of college as one of the amazing opportunities I am so thankful that I have.